Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sameer and welcome to my AWS DevOps series. Today we are starting with Elastic Bean Stack, a simple way to deploy and manage applications on AWS. Let's get started. So today we are starting a topic about how to create and manage the websites in AWS cloud, which means that how we can uh, you know work on websites, like how the developers create the website and how they host the website in AWS. So what are the different ways we can host the AWS websites? So there are different methods are there. So in DevOps there are basically in normal infrastructure also you can do, and automation way also you can host a website. So I'll show you different ways to host a website. So basically in today's topic you will know how to host a website in a server, a normal EC2, a Windows or a Linux server, and the other option, how we can host a website by using AWS DevOps service, which is called as Elastic Bean Stack. So let us quickly start how to host a website in EC2. So I just click on EC2 here. Okay, so what is website? Website is nothing but a web page, right? So if you take Flipkart, or you take a website like Amazon, or you take a website like Eduleem.com, whatever it might be, these all are the different websites. So website is nothing but it's a web page which is written with a coding language, which is nothing but PHP or WordPress or HTML or .NET. So depends upon different. You have different ways where you can create the website. Okay, so let us go through it. So let me start. So to make a website, what is that thing needed? So let us understand. So let me quickly write in a notepad. So what all things I need. So I think you all are able to see my notepad also, right? So I go here, I click on the screen, share. Okay. So what is a website? Website is nothing but it's a collection of interconnected web pages. So basically, which can be accessible through internet using the domain name like google.com, abcd.com, eduleem.com, flipkart.com. So in a simple way to or easy method to understand, website is nothing but a collection of interconnected pages. Collection of interconnected pages. So this website basically you can access through domain name. So it has certain things which requires to open a website. One is that web pages are needed to have the website working. So one is web pages, and these web pages, if I want, I need to host through a server called as web server. Then we need something called as domain name, which we need to purchase. And then there are types of websites are there. One is called as static website, and the second one called as dynamic website. Okay, dynamic website. So basically, as I told you, web pages are nothing but it's an individual documents, which or you can say that it's basically written in a code, HTML code or CSS or interactive with JavaScript or PHP or WordPress. These are the different types of codes required to build a website. So who does this? Basically, developer does this website. And now these web pages, to the whatever the code which is developed by the developer, we need to upload to a server. So that server is called as a web server. Without a web server you cannot upload the pages. Means, like for example, I'll if I give you a layman language or a easy way to understand. a website. Now see, for example, if you want to buy anything, like e-commerce, you have website, right? Flipkart, where you can buy the clothes, where you can buy the electronics and everything. So how do you buy? Basically, a page has been created with a coding language, and that has been hosted in the background through a server. So a web server is nothing but it's a system that stores all these web files, the code files, everything, whatever is written, the codes are there, right? It has been already automatically, means whatever the developer has been created, those all has been stored. All these files are stored in the centralized location, which is called as web server. Now to access this web server, we might need a domain name, which is like www.eduleem.com, www.flipkart.com, www.xyz.com. So without the domain name, you cannot access this website. So first thing is that you need a web pages. Now who will provide these web pages? It will be developed by your developer. Second thing is that you need a web server. Third thing is that you need a domain name. Who will provide the domain name? You need to buy the domain name either through GoDaddy or either through any of these portals. You can buy the domain name. So basically, these websites are of two types. One is called a static website. Second one is called as dynamic website. So static website is nothing but which is a fixed content, like a browser. You won't get changes. It is just a fixed. Dynamic content or a dynamic website is nothing but which can fetch and display your updated content, like you can say your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, or your e-commerce, or your blogs. All these things will come under the dynamic websites. So whether it is a dynamic website or whether it is a static website, who will develop this will be developed by the developer who knows the language knowledge, who knows the programming or a coding language like HTML, JavaScript, or you can consider like PHP, WordPress. If they have the knowledge, they can make the pages. And once the pages are available, that you can upload through a web server, and that you can get it through the domain name. So as a combination, you need a web pages, you need a web server, you need a domain name to host the website. Now, in our lab, what we are trying to do is that, anyways, we are not developing any web pages, because if we want to develop, we need to write a code and other things. So we can get it from internet. So I already downloaded, some test website from internet, which is a HTML website. It's a static website. Now, what I will do is that to host the website, whatever is required in the background, like a server and the IAS server and whatever necessary files required to host, those all things I will show you right now in the lab, how we can use the, or how we can create the website and how we can host the website. So let us quickly check how we can create a website. Now I go here. So quickly I'll launch an EC2 instance. So I am making a website in a Windows machine. So what I'll do, I'll go here. I will say web server. I'll give a name called as web server, and I will scroll down, and I am selecting Windows because I want to host a website in Windows machine. I am selecting Windows. Scroll down. Free tier or what you want, it's asking. So I want to go with free tier, but I don't want to go with Windows 2025. Why? Because Windows 2025 is little slower. So I want to go with the 2022 version, because 2025 is also faster, but we need to provide more memory and more processor. Now I'm simply going with 2022 base. That is fine for me. Scroll down. And here I can say create a new key pair, and I will give a name. What name I will give? I will say web server123. I am creating a key pair to make a website. Now scroll down here. I think we need to configure the network. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to use India as my network, which I already created, and I will use public IP enable so that I can connect. And I'll scroll down. So here RDP is there enabled. So what I'll do, I'll change here itself. I'll make it all traffic just to make sure that everything is open to this machine to connect. So there's no challenges. So I'll say here and say launch instance, and successfully our machine is getting created. Now what I'll do is that once this machine gets created, I am going to make the IIS install. So as I told you in this notepad, to make a website, what I need is that one is that web pages. So this web pages I am getting it from internet, because I am getting a sample code. So I'm taking a sample code from internet, and this is one thing. And second is that web server. Now, how do I get the web server? Web server, I am getting it through EC2. So I install now EC2 Windows. And now what I'm going to do is that I am going to make this server as a web server by installing a software called as IIS. So remember here, if you want to make a website in Windows operating system, you need to install a software called as IIS server. Okay, this is a software. After installing the OS, you need to install this. Once you install this, it will become as a web server. Then you can upload your code inside this server. Then third step is that you need to buy the domain name. So you can buy from GoDaddy or whichever you want. But in my case, what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to buy anything. I will just try to launch it through the IP address of the server, because we have a public IP. So just to show, I will show you through web pages and web server. Let us see how quickly we can access it. So now you can see that web server is successfully, the Windows server got installed. Now I need to make this Windows server as a web server. For that, what I need to do, I need to install something called as IIS. So I quickly say connect RDP client and say download remote desktop file, keep, scroll down, get password, upload private key file. Where did we download it? In downloads, right? Yeah. Click on this, scroll down and say decrypt password. So your password got created here. I copied the password. And what I'll do is that I will go and check. One second. Where is this downloads? So download. Okay, here it is there already. So I'm clicking on open web server one and say connect. So dadadum. You can see here it got connected. I am pasting the password. Click on OK. And there you go. Your Windows server is ready. So what we did, we just installed Windows Server. We haven't made yet this server as a web server, nor we have uploaded any code. So let me quickly show you where my code is. So I'll just minimize this. So what I did is that from internet, I have downloaded one code, which where I can show you is that, so this is my website code, which is available already, means I downloaded from internet. So one second, just a second, huh? Let me, Yeah. So this is the code called as test, which is basically if I open this, that this is the images which I have. So what I need to do is that this either I can use this or else I also have the code in my computer itself. Like this is the website code. Now where did I got this? I got it from internet. So I can copy and paste this code in the server. But when I need to do this, after making this Windows server as a web server. Now, how do I make this as a web server? So that is the question. So first we need to click on start. Once we log into this server, I think you all can see there is something called as server manager written. Click on this server manager. So once I click on server manager, what it will do is that Microsoft Windows will load the dashboard of server manager. Now here I get an option to install something called as roles. So what I need to do is that I need to click on this add roles and features option to make the, you know, IS server. Means if I want to make as a web server, first I need to click on this. So I click on this. Just a second. So still it is collecting the inventory data. So it will take basically once we load this dashboard, it will take some 30 to 60 seconds, hardly a minute. Once it is done, then I can click on this add roles and features here. So you can see now it is asking you to begin. I'll click on next, click on next and next. So it is selected the OS where it's going to install the roles. So it's asking the roles. I think you all can see this. There is a role called web server IAS. Okay. Add features. So what I'm doing, I have selected this role called as IS. So remember, if you want to make a Windows server as a web server, you need to install web server IIS. Suppose the same thing you want to do in Linux, then you need to install Apache. So because this is a Windows server, I am doing in Windows machine. So I selected IIS. I can also show you in Linux as well. So I'll just say next, next, next. Nothing, just say install and just wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Your server, now this server has been upgraded to a web server. Till now, it was a normal Windows server, Windows 2022 server, which is a just a Windows server. It doesn't have any role of an IS server. But now you have made this server as a web server. You made it as an IS server. Now, how do I do this as an IS server? Now, what I'm going to do is that once I install this server, I am going to upload that code inside this server once this server becomes a IS server. Now, when it will become, so once it gets installed, you will get a message saying that installation succeeded. Once you find that message installation succeeded, then you need to upload the code to get your website access. So just wait for a minute and you should be able to get that. Just need to wait for a minute. So almost it is coming to an end. It is getting installed. So basically, it is installing all the components related to IIS server to make this server as a web server. So in general, 2 to 3 minutes is more than enough to complete as a web server. After that, you need to make or you need to upload your code. So what I'm gonna do is that meanwhile, I'll go to the code where I have. So this is the code which I have. What I'm going to do is that Control A, Control C. I'm copying this code, and this code I need to paste inside this machine. So before pasting, I just waiting for installation succeeded. Now you can see it is succeeded. I can just say close because your installation got succeeded. The moment your installation got succeeded, on the left side, you can see that IS button will get added automatically. This was not there before. It got added once we have upgraded this to the IS server. Now, once it is done, now very important role what you need to understand here is that in this server, if you click on start, you need to get into File Explorer to find out the path to upload your code. So I click on this PC, then go to C drive, go and see here there is something called as inetpub. So very important folder you need to remember. This is called as inetpub, and inside this there is one more subfolder that is called as www root. Remember this and say Control A, Shift Delete. So you can delete this whatever it has, and you can paste the code which you got from your laptop. So basically this code your developer will give in real time. If not, you can download from internet. Means basically whoever is making a website, whoever is the web developer is there, generally they provide this code. In our case, I got the code ready from internet and I'm using it. Now I made the code ready. Now what I can do is that all very simple. I close it. Now let me, my part of web server hosting is done. All I need to do is that I need to access through a website. So I open the Google Chrome. Okay. Click on it. And what I'm going to do is that I need the IP address to access it. Go here and click on this instance and find the IP address of this computer. So this computer IP address, if I go here, this is the IP address. So minimize this. And where is this Google Chrome? Go here, Control V, enter. So I am accessing the website now. See, now website got loaded. So within a minute, I have loaded a website, a beautiful jewelry website. Now, how I got this website? Because my developer has given me this code, and you also want, you can also get it from internet. So I just downloaded this code from internet. I said HTML templates. I got this code. That's it. Now I am have access through with the public IP. But in real time, what happens? If you buy the name of a domain, like for example, you want to access this website by name called mohanapriya.com, then what you need to do, you just need to buy that domain name. From where do I need to buy this? I go to GoDaddy or any website which can sell the domains. You just need to go here, whichever the name you want to access that website, you just go here and search for that name. For example, I will say Mohana Priya, okay, .com. I don't know if that is available or somebody has already taken. If it is available, it will show here. So I just say search domains. So I'm just going here. So you can see here mohanpriya.com, and yeah, it is mohanpriya.com is available. 1 rupee 60 paisa. So basically 1500 rupees it will cost once I add it into the board. So I once I pay this amount, I will get this website. So you can see mohanpriya.com is already taken by someone. So mohanpriya.in is there. If you want to buy, you can buy this domain name. Okay. And once you buy the domain name, they will give you the DNS console, where the this public IP is there, right? This public IP you need to add there. Now, how to add that domain name, how to create that name, that those and all things you will learn in a topic called as Route 53. So let us not get into that. So I have showed you how to host a website in, you know, how to host a website in a Windows server. So this is how you need to host a website if it is a Windows server. So in this case, what happened? You have checked basically three things. So you know what is website, and you know how the websites are being hosted. So basically, if I see here, website is nothing but it's a collection of interconnected pages. So web pages which is developed by the developer. So then this code, I installed a web server and I uploaded in the IS server. Then I hosted it. This is generally you need one web server, you need a code, you need the domain name. All these things are required to make a website. Now, further, to automate this, Amazon came up with a solution called as Elastic Bean Stack. Now, what is this Elastic Bean Stack? Is that I no need to install this also. I no need to install a web server. I no need to install a EC2 Windows server. I no need to configure the network. I no need to look about the IS server. This part is completely managed and maintained by AWS with a concept called as Elastic Bean Stack. What is that? Elastic Bean Stack. This is a DevOps tool in AWS. Otherwise, it is a service. So it's a DevOps service. Now you might ask me, what do you mean by Elastic Bean Stack? So see, in the virtual machine you created and everything, right? Here it is like Elastic Bean Stack. You're not creating any virtual means any virtual machine. You just need to take care of your code. Rest all thing it will take care. So now what does it mean? Elastic Beanstalk is nothing but it's a platform as a service offering, PaaS we say. So this is basically it will be very easy to deploy, manage and scale the applications without you to worry on any underlying infrastructure, which means that you no need to worry on what server needed, what application softwares need to be installed, what network you need to configure. Nothing, you no need to worry about any of those things. The complete it will be taken care by AWS. The servers it will take care, the load balancing will be taken care by AWS, auto scaling will be taken care by AWS, monitoring will be done by AWS. You just need to worry only about your uploading a code. Suppose your developer has made a code on Java, then upload the code of Java. If it is a .NET, .NET, Node.js, Node.js, Python, PHP, Ruby, Go, or a Docker, any you can name any code, it will support. You just upload the code and rest all things backend Elastic Beanstalk will take care. And it will also help you to do the what we say customization. You can customize your backend. You just upload your code, rest all things will be taken care by Elastic Beanstalk. So basically Elastic Beanstalk is that no need to worry on the server, only take care of your code, rest all things will be handled by the Elastic Beanstalk. Understood, right? Now now lot many people will ask, then what is the difference between virtual machine and Elastic Beanstalk, uh, or Lambda, right? So Lambda, as I said, it's a different thing, we'll see later. Now let's understand what is the difference between virtual machine and an Elastic Beanstalk. See, virtual machine is nothing but it's a virtual server where you're installing the OS and everything. Virtual machine is basically works on the hypervisor layer, which top of that you're installing EC2 and you're running it. So you in a nutshell or an easy way to understand or a layman language, okay, you can consider it as a flat without furnished is called as virtual machine, and your elastic bean stack is nothing but like a semi furnished, like where you get everything. You just make your code ready, rest all things what is required to stay in your flat. Like suppose you bought a flat, you might need a sofa, you might need a TV, you might need a bed, everything will be available. Okay, that will be handled by you know AWS in our case. So Elastic Beanstalk is nothing but the whatever the code is there, you just take care of your code. What is required to execute it, the background, that server, that software, everything AWS will take care when it comes to the Elastic Beanstalk. So let us quickly go and check how we can do this same website. I will deploy by using Elastic Beanstalk. Now you have seen in server the same to same, I will show it in the Elastic Beanstalk. Now what I'm going to do is that quickly I am going to delete this because we have successfully deployed. Now same to same, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to install any server, nothing. Directly through Elastic Beanstalk I am going to configure. So I'll just go here and I'll say delete, and I am deleting it, gone. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create one Elastic Beanstalk, and the same thing, I'll upload the code, rest all things I'll leave it to Elastic Beanstalk. So whatever is required in the background, that server, everything, let Elastic Beanstalk handle it. So I'll go here and select Elastic Beanstalk. So click on create application. Now here it's asking an option called as web server environment and worker environment. So what is this web server environment and worker environment? So basically these two are an options in Elastic Beanstalk. Whenever you go for Elastic Beanstalk, they will give you these options. So what is this two options is web server environment, like it is nothing but if you want to use any applications which are https request. So if you want to create a load balancer, if you want to configure anything which is forwarding the instance, if you want to create an auto scaling, and where you can add the instances depends on the load. So for any kind of node.js websites, html websites, basically browser based API calls, that is good. And worker environment is basically for SQS, simple queue service, where you want to execute long running tasks. That is very good, like data analytics, or if you want to process any large files, in that case you can go with the worker environment. That's also one option. So you can consider like a web server environment is like a restaurant waiter, you can think, who is serving the customers instantly. Like customer comes and asks, he need a biryani, he need a XYZ, he'll give you immediately. Worker environment is like a kitchen staff, basically, who is preparing the food in the background. After getting the order from the waiter, they will provide it. So both are similar, but slight difference is there. So in our case, what we are doing is that we are creating one web server environment because we are going to host a web server. I will say that Mohana Priya is my application name. So I said Mohan Priya environment. Now here it's asking domain name. I will say Mohan Priya. I'll check availability. See, it is available. So if I want to give a description, I can say a description. I'll say this website is jewelry website, something. Okay. And it's asking platform. So I'll select this. So these are the different technologies it will support. So it's saying it will support Docker, it will support Java, it will support Node.js, PHP, and all. So my code is basically an HTML code. So I'll select PHP and scroll down. It's asking which OS you want to install. It's asking like, do you want to install in Linux, or do you want to install any different OS? So 2023 Linux 2 and all. So I'll go with default. And here I get an option like sample applications or upload your code. I will select upload your code. Version label, I can give any name just as a version. And where is your code? It's asking local file or in S3. So I have it local in my computer. I'll go here, choose file, mm, desktop. So what I'll do, go here, I'll select test. So I uploaded the zip file called test.zip. Next, I created. Now, if I just go backside previously, and if you see here, the moment I given Priya and all those details, and I uploaded the file, so I select local file and say local file test, open, scroll down. So here you can see here, single instance or spot instance or high availability, all those things, it's giving an option. I selected single instance and will say next. And now here it's asking for, do you want me to create a role? So you need to create an Elastic Bean Stack service role. So I'll say create a role here, and I am going to create something called as Elastic Beanstalk service role. So here the role, it automatically comes up with AWS. So I need to select AWS service and Elastic Beanstalk. So environment role, I'm creating one environment, add permissions. So by default, I no need to do anything. It has selected two roles, two permissions. I'll say next. And here I will give default name Elastic Beanstalk role. That is fine. And this is the permissions. It is already taking. No need to worry. Just say create role. So role got created. Okay. Now I go here. I refresh here, and then automatically this role got installed. Now it's asking for an instance profile role to be created. Again, I'll say create role. So it will try to create one role here. AWS service. So instance profile is basically nothing but it's an Elastic Beanstalk compute role. Go next. So it is saying these are the permissions are required. So I'll say next. And here I will say instance role just to give you a fair idea. So I'm not putting any space here, and just say scroll down and say create role. Okay, so we created both the roles, but make sure that because it's an instance role on EC2, we need to make sure that we also have an access to role, which is nothing but this role should be able to have this EC2 machine created in the background. So I'll just check. So instance role, this is the role which we created. I'll just check and what permissions we have. So here it has three permissions. I am just adding one more permission that EC2 full access, at least we don't have a trouble while deploying it because it uses the EC2 service in the background. But in real time, you might not need this. I'm just doing it for the sake of make it easy. I go here and say refresh, and here I selected instance role, and I selected both the roles, done, and say next. And it will ask for VPC, your VPC India, you need to select. It's asking, do you want to enable public IP? You say yes, enable it. And your network is AP South 1B. Select that and scroll down and say next. So here it's asking root volume. So what volume, what disk you want to use. So I will select general purpose. And remember, minimum 10 GB is required. So it won't work in 8 GB. So 10 GB is selected. Scroll down. Monitoring, it's asking security group. So I will select all the security groups. I don't know which security group previously been used. I'm selecting all the security groups to make sure that there is no blocker, and we'll make sure that all these security groups has firewall enabled. So it's asking single instance, on demand or spot. We are going with on demand. X86, yeah, T3 micro, T3 small is fine. I'll say next. So here it's asking, so health check, I'll make it basic because we don't want anything to be done here now. Scroll down, managed updates. I'm not doing anything. It's asking, do you have any email notification? No. Deployment, I'll say make it fixed deployment, not percentages. Rolling the updates not needed. Yeah, this is very important. So which software is required to host this website? Should be Apache because it's a Linux machine. So scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and say next. Scroll down, say next. What is it saying? Manage platform updates. Okay, health type. One second. Where is this health? Managed updates. I'm not making any updates here. Okay, that's fine. So I'm not making any updates and say next. Done. So I have configured everything. Close it and say create the environment. Now it will create an environment. So probably it will take some 4 to 5 minutes to configure it. Scroll down. So whatever it is doing, it will show here. So you can see the environment has been started creating. Now it has created an Elastic Bean Stack. The code which is it created an S3 storage bucket in the background to upload it. So just wait for a second. Yeah, it has created one security group by name ASG 0581962A. For this, it is created a fresh machine. No problem. So it's launching your environment. So what I did, if you see, I have not installed any server, nothing. Just I uploaded the code and I configured this. So see, it is doing everything. Now you can see it's creating one EC2 machine and it has created one Elastic IP also. So if you see here in the background, automatically you can see one Linux machine will get deployed here. I have not deployed. If I go here, I previously have deleted it. Now you can see one machine might have got deployed. See, you can see Mohana Priya, one name, automatically machine got deployed. I have not done anything here. It is done automatically through Elastic Bean Stack. So you can see instance deployment completed successfully. So the deployment of instance is also done successfully. So wait. Now you can see automatically one URL also got created here and health is gray. So this should be green. Once it becomes green, which means that you can access your website. I no need to do anything. Everything AWS will take care. I just need to wait for few minutes. So you can scroll down. Successfully launched. Very good. Congratulations. So environment successfully launched. So everything is done by AWS. Now, what I need to do, I just click on this link and your website will open like that. See, your website got opened. I didn't do anything. I just uploaded the code. I went to Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk only created the web server. The website, it only configured the PHP. I just uploaded the code. The whatever is required softwares, everything it has taken care, and website is being loaded with the name called Mohan Priya. Now, if you want the same thing you want by your own name xyz.com, then you need to go to GoDaddy and you can configure. And one more thing in Elastic Beanstalk is that now suppose if I want any changes I want to do in the website, all you need to do is that you just upload the changes. So you say upload and deploy and choose the file. You ask your developer to give that file, whatever he did the changes, and select that and say open and say deploy. Whatever the updates are there, it will get uploaded. So it's very, very easy to manage and work on it. So that is how you can configure your, you know, Elastic Beanstalk. Very easy. You can see you can create number of instances, basically all the web applications and all. Now, if suppose if you don't want this and you want to delete it, you can just select this and click on actions and say delete application, and you can say enter the name of the application to confirm Mohan Priya. I'll say delete, and what it will do is that automatically this complete application will be wiped out. So you no need to do anything. You deleted everything, it will be wiped out. So the environment will get deleted one by one things because we already scheduled the delete. So you can wait, terminate the environment. Mohan Priya dot env Mohan Priya. One second. So it's terminating the environment because we already deleted the application directly. So it should automatically terminate. Let us wait for a few minutes. I think it should be done. Yeah. So see, waiting for EC2 instances to terminate. This may take few minutes. So I have successfully installed and I have successfully trying to delete it. See, again it became gray. So automatically it will say that your Mohan Priya, the application is successfully deleted. So just wait. Yeah. So see, it has removed the instance also. So if I go here, if I refresh here, I would see this Mohan Priya machine would have been terminated. See, automatically it got terminated because I have removed the environment. So scroll up. Yeah, everything it is removing. So yeah, it got instance deleted. It is deleting. So just wait. Everything will get deleted. See, the health became unknown, which means that it's removing everything. So Elastic Beanstalk is still terminating your environment. So another 2-3 minutes, hopefully. So delete application completed successfully. Your application also got deleted successfully. Let us wait for 2 more minutes so that complete whatever we did the lab, it has been completely a normal website in a Windows server. I showed you how to make it through a Windows server, and I also explained you how the Elastic Beanstalk works. I think today, I think we are good. Again, I'll come up with the next automation and technology.